matchup has to be 330-pound Bruce Davis trying to handle Bruce Smith. Bruce Davis is not as agile. Bruce Smith is probably the best defensive end in the National Football League. Can he control him?
All right, and also part of the story, as mentioned by Bob and Ahmad on the pregame show, Shane Conlon definitely out with that foot injury, so Scott Riddick will go at the inside linebacker spot on the right side right throughout. How about when Buffalo has the ball? How do you figure things?
If Buffalo wants to run the football, Bruce Devlin has to be able to block Ray Childress. If he can't do that, Buffalo can't run.
Well, the Houston Oilers have won the toss, and they will receive. Houston 10-6 in the regular season as you look at 31 degrees and a sunny forecast for this afternoon. Last Saturday in the AFC Wild Card playoff game, Houston beat Cleveland 24-23 for the Oilers, their first road playoff game since beating the San Diego Chargers back in December of 1979. And the Buffalo Bills 12-4, first in the AFC East, but Buffalo dropped 3 of its last 4 games. Their last game 2 weeks ago at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, and the Colts came from behind to win it 17-14. Set for the kickoff, and the kickoff sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Scott Norwood teeing it up, and Lorenzo White, the rookie from Michigan State, is back deep. He was the key man on kickoffs last week because he is more accustomed to the cold weather. And we're underway. The winner goes up against Cincinnati for the AFC Championship. Spencer Tillman on the return. And excellent coverage by the Bills, who are number 1 in that department in the NFL. Mike Rozier in the starting lineup, despite the bruised ribs. And the outstanding combination of Drew Hill and Ernest Gibbons. A huge offensive line for Houston Oilers. Bruce Davis, Paul mentioned a moment ago, 6'6", 315 pounds. In his 10th season out of UCLA, and Warren Moon, who came back from the shoulder injury, has had an outstanding season. First down at the 21. And Rozier for just about 2 on the play as we take a look at the Buffalo defensive unit. Art Still and Fred Smerlas, who sat out in the last game 2 weeks ago against Indianapolis, although Smerlas played in that opening series, along with Bruce Smith, one of the best front threes in the NFL. Riddick for the injured Conlon. And a solid secondary, Burrows, Kelso, Smith, and Odom. Now Alan Pinkett has replaced Mike Rozier. Second down and 8 at the 23. And Moon goes sideline, incomplete. Intended for Haywood Jeffries, covered by the right corner, Nate Odoms.
I think one of the biggest surprises to the Buffalo Bills this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is the play of Burrows and Nate Odoms. They have really come through. Really question marks at the beginning of the year. Could they cover one-on-one? They have done that.
It is a third down and 8. And this crowd here at Rich Stadium roaring from the opening kickoff.
They had a rally here this week, and Bill Polian, the general manager, said they want this to be the house of noise.
And that request has been answered. Moon incomplete. So a quickie series for the Houston Oilers. A pass intended for Ernest Gibbons.
Bruce Smith is going up against Bruce Davis, and just take a look at it. Bruce Smith is lined up way to the outside. Here's Davis getting that drop, which he has to do, and forcing Smith way to the outside. Actually, Moon rolled away from the play, so Smith didn't have a chance anyway.
Here's the rookie from Michigan State, who has certainly had his ups and downs. He's also been hampered by a hamstring. Greg Montgomery punting to Errol Tucker, first-year player from Utah. And Tucker backpedals behind his 30. Tucker breaking tackles, gets across the 40-yard line. A 16-yard return off a 49-yard punt. And we have our first flare-up. The Houston Oilers last week and the Cleveland Browns had quite a bit of extracurricular activity.
Here we go again. This is what Houston likes to do. They're going to try to intimidate you. They're going to say some things. They're going to try to make you do some things that are dumb. And it usually is the second guy that gets caught. Now there's Tucker on the ground, and then the action starts. Butch Roll, number 87, is one of the guys because they push Tucker back on the ground. He gets back into the play.
And all during the course of the week, Buffalo players saying amongst themselves, now we must maintain our composure. Very easy to say, let's not go back with that retaliatory hit, because it's usually the man who retaliates who's hit with the penalty. And the Bills to the offense with Jim Kelly.
I like to see him open up a pass on first down.
They start from the 44. And Kelly does go to the flat. Incomplete. Intended for Thurman Thomas. Thomas and Mueller in the backfield. Andre Reed, the favorite target of Jim Kelly. He set a Buffalo franchise record, 71 receptions. Kent Hull, the Pro Bowl center. Richer and Hellestray at the guards. Hellestray replacing the injured Tim Vogler. And Devlin and Wolford at the tackles. Just underway here in Buffalo. And the Bills in their first series, second down and 10 from their 44-yard line. And Kelly completes. Andre Reed has the first down. Steve Brown, the left corner, and Eugene Seal, inside linebacker, on the stop.
The whole defensive line of Houston fell down. They had a stunt working in the middle, and as they were moving in and out, 3 of the players fell down, and not a block was laid on any of them.
And that is Seal shaken up. He is an important man on the special team coverage of the Houston Oilers in his second season of Lamar. Buffalo first down at the Houston 45-yard line. Minute and a half gone by. Just underway.
Surprising offense. Very unusual for Buffalo to come out and not run the ball yet.
On deep back is Jamie Mueller. And Kelly throwing again. And he has Thurman Thomas for 7 more, but a penalty marker is down. The referee today is Gordon McCarter. Houston Oilers #1 in penalties in the AFC, second overall in the NFL. Dallas finishing with 141 penalties called, followed by Houston.
Holding. Number 93 on the defense. Penalty accepted. 5 yards. Automatic first down.
That is Robert Lyles, outside linebacker on the left, called for the hold.
He had to be holding Pete Metzelaars, number 88, the tight end for the Buffalo Bills. Metzelaars came down the line of scrimmage and ran it out, and it brought Thurman Thomas underneath.
The Bills first down at the Houston 40-yard line. And Kelly will throw again. Has the tight end Metzelaars inside the 35. And another flag has been tossed.
Roughing the passer, personal foul. That time the Houston Oilers weren't even set. Their cornerback, Steve Brown, number 24, was on the wrong side of the field.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, late hit, number 79 defense. Automatic first down.
Didn't Childress say earlier in the week that we can't talk to Kelly and intimidate him? We have to go back and hit him? Well, here's what happened. Ray Childress, number 79. Kelly throws. Childress hits him in the face with his hands. That's intimidation.
And here are the Buffalo Bills coming out throwing. Well, Ray Childress said, I don't think talking is going to intimidate him. We're going to have to hit him, and I think that will intimidate him. All right, let's see see what happens here as Buffalo now on the move. First down at the 18. Not able to complete with Thurman Thomas, who should have held on. Keith Bostic, the strong safety, on the coverage.
Either the pick was there from Metzelars, and they ran his play before when they got the holding penalty. Watch Bostic. He's trying to cover him. There's the pick. Thurman Thomas is wide open. He walks into the end zone. He just dropped the ball, and Kelly is upset. He throws the ball. He sees the touchdown. He gets hit. Now watch this. You think he didn't know he had touchdown? I can only throw it to you, son. I can't catch it for you.
Is that what he says?
That's what he says.
Ronnie Harmon and Robb Riddick now have checked into the Buffalo backfield. And as you look at the stats involving the Buffalo Bills when they have made their move inside the 20. And Kelly, who's come out firing, overthrows double coverage on Chris Burkett. The Bills, particularly down the stretch, and remember this is a club that finished at 12-4, but still criticized with the target, the quarterback Jim Kelly, for his statistics. And there has been some criticism concerning the game plan of Buffalo not using the strong arm of Kelly. But Marv Levy said, well, maybe we're saving things. That is explanation for what took place in the game against Indianapolis. And here we are in the opening minutes. And suddenly we see the passing game.
Well, that time he had Robb Riddick. Remember what Robb said? He wouldn't throw the ball to him. He was flaring out to the outside. Riddick was open. Kelly didn't throw him the ball.
Third down 10. Kelly chasing the bad snap and able to cover up. William Fuller, the right defensive end, on the pursuit of Kelly.
Now, do you know why they have so much trouble inside the 20? They center the ball on the wrong count. The ball was snapped. Now you're going with a field goal. Here it is. The ball is snapped. Richer is just looking around trying to get the call. Kelly's making it looked like he was checking off, calling an audible, and the ball was just snapped.
And this will be a 50-yard attempt for one of the best field goal kickers in the NFL, Scott Norwood, who's hit 21 of 24 here at home at Rich Stadium. The holder, the punter, John Kidd. Long-range attempt. And well short of the mark. So the Buffalo Bills drive is stalled with 3 minutes, 10 seconds gone by in this first quarter. Houston coach Jerry Glanville delighted with that field goal attempt. Well, last season, the Houston Oilers, after knocking off Seattle in a wild card in overtime, reached this level in the AFC divisional playoff, but they certainly had their problems against the Denver Broncos, and the Broncos won 34-10 at Mile High in Denver.
Marvin, it really, when you're in a situation like this in a playoff game where the loser goes home, it isn't the physical teams that go against each other that's going to make the difference. This is a time of the year when it's all mental. If you can't get yourself ready, if you make mental errors like the one the Bills just made there, you can't win football games doing that.
At the bad snap that led to the 50-yard field goal attempt, and Norwood not able to connect. Houston takes over at their 33-yard line. And Moon having some difficulties. Here's Rozier. Stopped by Art Still, a 4-yard advance for Mike Rozier, who had a terrific season. He ran for 1,002 yards, the first Oiler since Earl Campbell back in '83 to hit the 1,000-yard mark. Scored a personal high, 11 touchdowns. Houston, a team that likes to call audibles. And that is where the noisy crowd can come into play and provide problems with Warren Moon.
They say that most of their offenses run off of audibles. Certain defenses are going to move, and the Bills are moving their defense around.
Second down, 6. Highsmith. Short of the first down, about 3. Bentley and Radisic combining to make the tackle.
You know, when you talk about playoff experience, a year ago when you showed that game at Denver, there were only 4 players on the Oilers that had played in a playoff game, and that was their first game, which was a wild card game against Seattle, which they won in overtime. This year there are 37 players. On the Bills, there are only 8 with NFL experience.
Experience, a one-time Seattle Seahawk, the tight end Pete Metzelars, who appeared in 5 playoff games, but all with Seattle. Third down and 4. Moon able to complete, but short of the first down. Drew Hill picked up 2. So the strong defensive work of the Buffalo Bills continues.
All right, now, Marv, we talked about the matchup, Bruce Davis on Bruce Smith. But watch who eventually ends up picking up Bruce Smith. Here's Davis. He makes the initial contact, forces him to the outside. Now, Alonzo Highsmith, number 32, is the guy that's supposed to come in and take a piece of him. Didn't, and Bruce Smith almost gets to Moon. But excellent play by Davis on the outside to stop the first down.
Second punt of the day for the rookie, Greg Montgomery. He is back at his 26. Oh, just got it off Riddick right on the scene. And here is Tucker to the 10. To the 25-yard line. Errol Tucker goes 19 with a 51-yard punt. And again, some words following the tackle. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rich Stadium in Buffalo, where the Bills are 8-0 this season. Marv Albert, Paul McGuire, no score, 5.5 gone by in the first quarter. And the Buffalo Bills will start out from their 26-yard line.
Well, I was looking for some helicopters, but the hot air balloon, those are good. That's nice up there today.
What a very pleasant day. Brilliant sunshine expected throughout the afternoon. Right now, temperature at 34 degrees. Civilized weather here.
It's beautiful. It's like summer.
Right. That is Harmon in motion. Mueller trying to turn the corner. He did. 3 yards for Jamie Mueller, who did fumble it, but out of bounds. Jeff Donaldson, man who hits very hard, coming up from free safety to make the stop. Let's take a look at the Houston defensive alignment. Childress, Bird, Fuller question mark because of a knee problem. Lyles, Grimsley, Smith, and Meads. Terrific season for Johnny Meads, career high 8 sacks. And the secondary, Brown and Allen at the corners, and Bostic and Donaldson are the deep men.
Actually, Sean Jones is playing in the starting role in place of Fuller. But Fuller's in there now.
Second down and 8. Kelly in trouble. And able to compete for the first down and more with Chris Burkett. Donaldson on the stop, a 19-yard hookup and a flag throw.
You're going to get a roughing on Ronnie Harmon, number 33, who is an offensive running back, and he just drilled one of the defensive backs, and I think it's Patrick Allen, number 29 of the Houston Oilers, after the play was over. Now, this will be after the play, so it'll still be first down, but there'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Are you surprised with the way Buffalo has come out, putting it up in the air?
They've not run the ball yet. I think they're surprising Houston. But the thing about it is, if you're going to come out to surprise someone, you've got to take the ball down and score.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 33 on the offense. It is part of the play. We'll go back 15 from the dead ball spot. Repeat second down.
That is Ronnie Harmon, who was called for the personal foul.
Well, I thought this happened afterwards, after the first down. Now watch, here it comes. Now here's 33 in your screen is Ronnie Harmon. He's going to pick out number 29, which is Patrick Allen, and drill him. But I thought the play was over, so this should be the first down and the penalty afterwards.
So much for that theory.
Thank you very much. It's another reason why I'm not an official.
Second and 3 at the 33. And Kelly going sideline. Intended for the running back, Thurman Thomas, who is covered by Keith Bostic.
Thurman Thomas had Bostic beaten, just could not get to the ball. This is the one thing that Kelly's been talking about all year long. I need speed on the outside.
And I would think, looking to the draft, that is what the Buffalo Bills will be seeking. Their top receiver, Andre Reed, with 71 catches, has shown he can get deep, although the Bills have not gone in that direction, but he would not be considered a burner. Third down and 3. Bills have the first down with Burkett. Pickup of 9.
was an excellent read by Jim Kelly. Burkett, everyone else they were covered. Burkett was actually covered. But then Kelly waited. He had enough time and enough patience, and that's what it takes in a game like this. Watch Kelly. He's going to look to his left real quick. He looks for Burkett right now. He doesn't see him, and then he waits until Burkett gets open and then lays it out in front where Brown has no chance at the ball.
And Jim Kelly has opened up 4 out of 8. Has a first down at the Bills' 42. Now to the ground for Mueller. And he is cut off back behind the line by John Grimsley, who leads Houston in tackles with 115 coming in.
And a gain of 1, second and 9.
They're calling it a 1-yard advance, a second and 9.
This must be a new wrinkle. They're trying to get Jamie Mueller, who is the fullback, and obviously not fleet of foot like the running backs are, and they're trying to get him wide.
7 minutes remaining in this first quarter with no score. A lot of movement. Penalty flags down as Kelly goes incomplete.
Kelly's pass intended for Riddick was tipped. There's a flag on the play.
So the offside against Houston looked to be Sean Jones.
Offside, defense. Number 79, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Well, now they say Ray Childress, the left defensive end, in his 4th year out of Texas A&M, made it to the Pro Bowl. 8.5 sacks for Childress. And off that offside penalty, it will be a second down and 4 from the 48. Now Burkett wide left. That is Reed, 83 in motion. Back to the ground. Thomas breaking away. Steve Brown pushed him out of bounds. 41 yards for Thomas.
This is the first time that a halfback has really touched the ball. Now take a look. Joe Devlin blocks down. Richard comes out at number 51 and gets an excellent block. Metzelar's number 88 kicks out, and there's the hole. Thurman Thomas down the sideline, and then Brown finally catches him and knocks him out of bounds inside the 15 at the 12-yard line. But the hole was there. Now here comes Donaldson, the safety, coming up, but he doesn't make the tackle. Just a stiff arm by Thurman Thomas, and down the sidelines he goes. Almost a touchdown.
A rookie from Oklahoma State setting up a first down at the 12. Kelly throwing to Burkett, but he could not hang on. Took the hit from Richard Johnson.
Kelly's pass intended for Burkett.
I don't think Burkett ran the right pattern. If you take a look, Burkett went down the field. Now watch him. He's going too far deep. Kelly is looking for him right now. He takes 7 yards and then turns it to the inside. He wanted him to take it shorter, just a direct post route right into the post, had it wide open for the touchdown.
For Thurman Thomas, that was his longest run of the season. Burkett now to the right. 2nd and 10 from the 12. No score. 6:40 to go in this opening quarter. And Byram cutting left fell down. He's in motion, number 35. This is Riddick. Robb Riddick. Stopped by the combination of Donaldson and Grimsley. Riddick went for 5 yards.
The Buffalo Bills, for 16 games this year, when Robb Riddick has been in the ball game, when they get down near the goal line, you know that 1 out of those 3 plays, if they don't get a first down, he is going to handle the ball and run with the football. They let everybody know. I mean, there's just no secret.
And he has scored 14 touchdowns to lead the Bills, 12 on the ground. 3rd down and 5. Ball at the 7. Just under 6 minutes left, first quarter. Kelly looking to throw and completes. Steve Brown and Jeff Donaldson with the clamps on Trumaine Johnson. And let's see where they spot it.
They had to get the ball to the 2-yard line in order to get a first down. And it looks like they may have it. Here it comes to the inside. Now Johnson is there. The question is, where was the ball? His feet were at the 2, but the ball was at the 2.5.
And it is short of the first down. And the field goal unit is on the field. Scott Norwood earlier missed from 50.
Kelly just ran on the field to call timeout.
And that may mean that there will be a change of decision. Let's see. All right, timeout called. We'll be back here in Buffalo in a moment. A moment ago, the Bills called for the timeout. They wanted to check the measurement, and there it is. It is 4th and inches, and now Marv Levy will go for the first down or the touchdown.
Marv, I do not agree with this. You're in a playoff game, and this is do or die. You put points on the board. They have a chance to put 3 points on the board. I don't care if they make it or not. I'm just telling you something. I would never make this decision.
Leonard Burt, number 61, is checked in as a tackle eligible. Metzelar's fell down. He's in motion. Slippery field. Kelly looking end zone, and it's deflected, broken up.
I'm telling you, I think you might have had a situation here where players talk to coach into going for it, and you don't do that. Not in this game. There are no points on the board. You put 3 up when you can.
And what does this do now for the Houston Oilers?
It just picks this team up totally. They've stopped Buffalo twice down in this territory in Buffalo's hometown. And take a look at Metzler slips. He can't get out. There's holding there. Brown grabbed a hold of him. But Metzler is across. Donaldson, number 31, is the man that knocks the ball away. That ball had no chance of getting there.
So the Oilers take over at the 2, and the house of noise has erupted. 5:07 remaining, first quarter, and we have no score. Mike Rozier to the outside and runs it out of trouble.
Rozier stopped by Burrows.
Strong safety Leonard Smith forcing him out.
You know, Rozier, we know that he sat out of last week's game, and he has a rib injury. Now, just take a look at where Rozier carries this ball. He's got it away from his body, totally away from his body. Now, even when they're going to put the hit on him, he doesn't tuck the ball away. He keeps it out away from his ribs.
And on the pregame show, Ahmad made the point that when a running back does suffer an injured rib, he will hold the ball differently. That could be a factor.
Well, Ahmad played his whole career with broken ribs.
Second down and 3. Rozier is stopped. Art Still on the tackle. Is that what Ahmad told you?
Yeah, he said he was tough. He was one of the tougher players that ever played this game. He played here in Buffalo.
On the subject of being tough, when Rozier said he could not go last week and Alan Pinkett came on and did such a fine job, Jerry Glanville said he was really surprised because he knew that Rozier was hurt bad, because he's a guy that has played hurt in the past.
And he really loves Rozier. He said, here's a guy that if he didn't carry the ball one play, did not gain a yard in the entire game, but if they won the football game, he was as happy as anybody to gain 200 yards.
Alan Pinkett has checked in. Third down and 3. The ball at the 10. Moon with time. And a nice diving catch by Drew Hill for the first down out at the 30. 21 yards on the play. Drew Hill, who has had a sensational season, career-high 72 catches, stopped by Odoms and Bennett.
You can see right here that they're sitting in zone defense. And the key to this whole thing is the fact that Warren Moon, down in his own end zone, had all day to throw the ball. Now, here's Monchuk, number 63, and he's blocking now on Bruce Smith, who moved to the inside. Now, you see, Moon had the time to wait for Drew Hill to come across. Once he did that, completion here at the 30.
And now Hill is to the right, Gibbons left. 3:20 to go, first quarter, no score, first down at the 30. That is Pinkett in motion. The swing pass the immediate hit on Alonzo Highsmith by Scott Radosik. The ball was jarred loose, but covered by Houston. A loss of 5 on the play.
This is absolutely a linebacker's dream. Here he is. He's covering a back coming out of the backfield. It happens to be Alonzo Highsmith on a reverse angle here. And take a look. That's his man. Bang. As soon as he catches the ball, I don't know if he really had the ball, if that's a fumble or not. They should take a look at it, because it didn't look like Alonzo Highsmith had control.
Second down and 14 at the 26. The snap went to Rozier. From time to time, the Oilers will do that. Another fumble, but recovered by Houston. Ray Bentley on the stop. So Mike Rozier, the running back, taking the snap.
Actually, Bentley came up with the ball, Marv, but they said that the runner was down by contact, and once that's done, nothing else happens. Here's the snap back to Rozier. Bentley comes in. He doesn't strip the ball away, but the ball, he is down. There's no question about it. Rozier's knees are down, and the ball comes back to Bentley, but now it's 3rd and 10.
And again, the crowd rises. 1:45 remaining in this first quarter. Boone with the time, and again connects with Drew Hill for a first down. Wayne Davis on the stop of Hill, a 19-yard pass play.
Sitting there watching Bruce Smith that time. They had a deal on, and they sent Smerlis to the outside, and Bruce Smith hesitated for a second, came up the middle, but once he came up the middle, the block was on. They were sitting there waiting on him, and I think Monchuk is the guy that's going to eventually get Bruce Smith. Now you see Freddie Smerlis to right of the screen, he spins out. Now here comes Bruce Smith there. But when Moon has that much time, and the receivers that he has on his football team, you cannot give him that much time. He's going to pick you apart.
Warren Moon connecting with the Pro Bowl wide receiver Drew Hill. First down at the 49. Now he goes the other way to Jeffries. Haywood Jeffries, who has come back strong from injured reserve. He was out with an ankle and has been a clutch man in recent games, going for 14 and another first down, and another discussion between the Oilers and the Bills.
I love it. The Houston Oilers defense, they're banging people all over the place. After the play, before the play, it makes no difference. Now here's Jeffries. He catches a pass. Ray Bentley comes in just a tad late and nails him. Here it is. Here's Jeffries. He makes the play. Bentley, number 50, is going to come into play. Here goes Jeffries. He's on his way down. Now watch Bentley. He just stuck his face mask in there, and here comes Jeffries up now. Our guys can do it to your guys, but don't do it to me.
And there's the gun ending the first quarter. The Oilers on the move. Buffalo missing a field goal and failing on a 4th and inches. No score after 1. Yes, big day tomorrow as the national championship will be decided right here on NBC. No score after 1, and Paul, as we look back at the first quarter, the big play, the Buffalo Bills going for that for the touchdown rather than the short-range field goal.
Cannot believe they didn't kick the field goal. Especially, there's no points on the board. Don't give that team the momentum. Houston is high enough in this game. You give them a stop down here, and here goes Kelly. If you're going to do something down here, run the ball. But to throw the ball, Donaldson tips the ball away. There's just no chance for the touchdown here. Let's see, Donaldson's right there in the face. You give up 3 points. That puts you on the board first, and that's psychological.
And it was a pass-happy Buffalo Bill offensive unit in that first quarter, trying to cross up the Houston Oilers.
Buffalo's pretty even as far as the stats are concerned. The only important stat is that scoreboard.
Second quarter underway, and here is Moon on the option. Cornelius Bennett making the stop. 3-yard advance for Warren Moon.
Moon's laughing. He's talking to Bennett. Now, Cornelius Bennett comes upfield. Now, I think Warren Moon was looking for a pitch man, and it just stunned him. Here comes Moon out by him. He said, wait a minute, you're not supposed to have the ball. You're supposed to be pitching the ball. But he goes right back and catches him.
There is Cornelius Bennett. Came to the Bills midseason last year in that blockbuster three-way trade involving Eric Dickerson. Pro Bowl man this season, one of 6 Bills to make it to the Pro Bowl. Second down and 7 at the Buffalo 34. And Moon going deep sideline, intended for Curtis Duncan, who was covered by the left corner, Derek Burrows.
Duncan had no chance at this ball. Burrows was there. Duncan looked like he might have had a step on him. Burrows is sitting there. He hand chucks him right there. This is all legal, but this is running step for step. That's perfect coverage. There was no chance for the ball because it was out of bounds.
There's Derek Burrows. Been banged up this year. Ankle injury. Bruised jaw. Reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser most valuable player for today's game at the conclusion of the ball game. Third down and 7. And down goes Boone. Bruce Smith, who had 11 sacks during the regular season, finishing second in the AFC behind Greg Townsend of the Los Angeles Raiders, comes up with the first of the day.
The Buffalo Bills that time with 4 defensive linemen. And this time they moved Bruce Smith to the inside over the center. Now he makes a move past Pinson, and once he does that, the guard to the right-hand side did not pick him up, and that was Matthews. Bruce Smith was free.
And Smith now with a sack in 5 straight games. So the punting unit is on. Greg Montgomery for the 3rd time, punting to Errol Tucker. And it's blocked. Almost blocked in his last attempt. And the Buffalo Bills with the block punt recovering. 3rd punt blocked by the Bills this season. The strong safety Leonard Smith, the man to get to the ball.
But Marv, the other time they had 10 men on the line of scrimmage. This time they only have about 5 or 6 guys. And they're all standing back there like they're not going to rush. And then they just send Leonard Smith right up the middle. He makes the block. Just a perfect call. I don't think Houston was waiting on it. Take a look on the right of your screen now. Number 56, Toby Caston. He does not block Leonard Smith. He just comes in untouched. That's his man. Smith blocks it. Houston recovers the ball, but it is Buffalo's ball.
The Bills first down at the Houston 46-yard line. Kelly able to complete for a first down with Trumaine Johnson. 18-yard pass play. Patrick Allen and Jeff Donaldson combining on the stop.
Buffalo has to try to score from here because they can't score inside the 20. Take a look at the time he has. Here comes Trumaine Johnson downfield. Houston, they are playing zone defense. When Trumaine goes, Donaldson, number 31, never gets into the play. Patrick Allen never gets into the play. And the other most important thing is Kelly has all day to throw the ball.
Kelly is 6 for 12. First down at the Oiler 28. Kelly dumps it off. Again, Johnson inside the 20, close to the first down. Al Smith, the inside linebacker, and the left corner, Steve Brown, on the stop of Johnson. It will be a 2nd and 1.
It's a little unusual, isn't it? You ever see that? Because Marv Levy really likes a balanced attack. Houston, they have a balanced attack. Bills don't. But the biggest problem they have right now, Marv, is that they're at the 19-yard line. They're inside the 20. Their problem.
Mueller in motion. First down and goal for Thurman Thomas. Touchdown saving tackle by Richard Johnson. 16 yards for Thomas, who reeled off 40 in the first quarter for his longest run of the season. Thurman Thomas, the 22-year-old rookie from Oklahoma State, setting up a 1st and goal.
And I told you, if they're going to run, they got to go to the side of Joe Devlin. Joe Devlin, number 70, just takes Fuller, 95, completely out of the hole. Jamie Mueller, number 39, got an excellent block, and the hole was open. Now they're at the 3-yard line.
Ken Hull, the center, Jim Richer, Dale Hillestray, the guards, Joe Devlin, Will Wolford are the tackles. 1st and goal from the 3. Metzelaars in motion to the ground, and Robb Riddick stopped short of the goal line.
They tell you there's no secrets down there. Once they get there, they're going to give the ball to Riddick. They're going with 2 tight ends, Roll and Metzelaars, but they're also going with another offensive lineman, Leonard Burton, number 61, that comes in and plays a tight end. Now here comes Riddick over the top, and they're waiting on him. Lyles, 93, is sitting there. They knew that he's going to carry the ball.
And the ball spotted inside the 2. Following the tackle, Robb Riddick had some words with Richard Johnson of Houston. And Riddick able to battle his way through for the touchdown. And Jim Kelly involved, as he had some words with several of the Houston defenders.
And the linemen are trying to tell Kelly, just get out of there and get off the field. You have no business being there. But you talk about continuous effort of Robb Riddick. He just never stops. When he gets down near the goal line, he honestly believes that he should score every time he touches the ball. Kelly falls down, but he gets the ball to Riddick. He bobbles it, takes a look at the ball. Now watch, he stopped here, but his continuous effort with his legs, driving to get him back into the end zone for a touchdown. Now at the end of this, you know, Riddick is trying to get up there, hold him on the ground, and then Jim Kelly comes in, and Jim, you know, just go sit down.
And now here's Scott Norwood. And that is 76 consecutive extra points, a Buffalo Bills record for Norwood. Buffalo 7, Houston nothing. We'll be right back. Some of the early arrivals here at Rich Stadium, camping out, making certain to beat the traffic. Our crack crew on hand, producer David Neal and director Dick Klein to check it out. Robb Riddick very pleased as he went over from 1.5 yards away for a 7-0 Buffalo lead just a moment ago. 80,000 plus here in Buffalo for the first ever playoff game at Rich Stadium. Lorenzo White waiting for the kickoff from the 4-year veteran from James Madison, Scott Norwood. The winner today faces Cincinnati next Sunday in the AFC Championship game. And White will run it out. And he is stopped across the 10. Excellent coverage again. The Buffalo Bills, led by the one-time Houston Oiler, Steve Tasker.
You know, on his scoring drive, 5 plays, 46 yards, took up 3 minutes. But Robb Riddick, Kelly falls down, and Riddick, because of the experience in the back, his most important thing is that football. Got his composure, made sure he had his hand on the ball, and then a continuous effort to get the ball into the end zone. That's hustle. That's experience.
Hearing it from this crowd. It's a 1st and 10 from the 11. Alonzo Highsmith, Mike Rozier are the running backs. Rozier. 2 on the play. Ray Bentley, the inside linebacker, was right there.
You know, on a kickoff, this team, they lead the league as far as stopping them. Number 89 there is Tasker. You think he's happy? Watch this. Oh, and he missed it. Man, if you're going to, you got to make the thing, Steve. You got like 2 4s.
And Steve Tasker made the Pro Bowl last season for his special teams play, hampered by a knee injury this year. 2nd and 8 from the 13. 5 minutes gone by. 2nd quarter. Buffalo 7. Houston nothing. Boone again got the time. Hard hit, and it is ruled incomplete. Wayne Davis applying the hit on Drew Hill.
Okay, Warren Moon, he's got to think about Bruce Smith making that sack in the last series of downs. Got some happy feet. Moon is backing out, moving around. You've got to have total confidence in your offensive line to stay in there. Now, I know he's been sacked one time, and it's easy for us to say sitting up here. But in a game like this, you must be patient. Kelly has been patient throwing the football. Moon has to do the same thing.
Warren Moon facing a Buffalo team that is first in the AFC in total defense. Third down and 8. Moon going the middle and has the first down with Hill. Leonard Smith, the strong safety on the stop, and Drew Hill and Warren Moon combined for 21 for Hill, his 4th reception.
All right, this is the difference of Moon from this play and the play before. Marv, on this play, he'll sprint to his right just a few steps to get himself set. Now he sets up. No happy feet. Just waits now, sees Drew Hill coming across. Actually, nobody on him. Gets him for the first down.
And happy feet, the criticism of Warren Moon earlier in his career that he would bail out at times, would not hang in. First down at the 34. Moon cannot find anyone. And able to come back and locate Highsmith right at the 40-yard line. Bennett Burrows bumping him out.
Now, all right, the man with the happy feet. Warren Moon that time really does all this himself. And he's going to tell Alonzo Highsmith, come on back to me. He's looking around the field. Freddie Smirlis, number 76, is putting some pressure on him. Moon's going back looking for Ernest Givens, 81. He's not open there. So he sees pressure, he goes back. Now watch him. His hand says, Alonzo, come back to me. I'll get the ball to you. We can pick up 7.
It's a second down and 3. Good block by the center, Jay Pennison, to buy some time for Moon. Let's see, referee Gordon McCarter preventing the Houston Oilers from...
Please reset to 12 seconds. 12 seconds on the clock. The play was reviewed and stands as ruled. Second down.
Well, apparently the question concerned that last reception by Highsmith on the sideline as to whether he was in bounds. It was reviewed. The replay official today is Mark Burns. The 30-second clock reset now to 12. So the catch was ruled as a good catch, complete, and we're set to resume. Second down and 3 at the 41. 8.5 left. First half, Buffalo 7 and Houston nothing. And Moon picks up the first down with Jeffries. 7 on the play. Odoms made the stop. One of the bigger receivers on this Houston squad, 6'2", Haywood Jeffries.
Haywood Jeffries goes down and just sets up right beyond the first down marker. There's 4 wide receivers in the game. Leonard Smith, who is a safety, is out there trying to cover him. He knows he has to give him the cushion because of not only his height, but his speed. And Odoms is hurt, and that's really going to hurt the Buffalo Bills.
Nate Odoms, the right corner in his second season out of Wisconsin, hobbling over to the sideline. He's been replaced by Kirby Jackson, and now the Bills call for a timeout. 8:08 left, first half. The Bills 7 and the Oilers nothing. Well, a happy new year, and we welcome you back to Rich Stadium in Buffalo. Marv Albert, Paul McGuire. The first time that Buffalo has hosted a postseason game since January 1st, 1967. 22 years to the day when the Bills were beaten by the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs going on to Super Bowl I. NBC Office are doing a very fine job today, Paul.
You think their lifts would get cold being out here, but it is in the, almost to 35 degrees here, which is a balmy day. When the Houston Oilers are going with 4 wide outs, 4 wide receivers, and what that does is it forces the Buffalo Bills to go with 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, which will be Talley and Bennett, and then 6 defensive backs. And this is where when you go with 4 wides, you keep Alonzo Highsmith in the backfield. What you're saying, and this time they have Pinkett back there now, is that you have the confidence in your offensive line that they can handle these guys no matter what they throw at them.
And Houston first down at their 48-yard line. 7.5 left, first half. And this is Pinkett. Stopped by Bruce Smith. Alan Pinkett last week against Cleveland in only his third start of the season. Rushed 14 times for a game-high 82 yards and 2 touchdowns, coming off the bench to do a terrific job replacing the injured Mike Rozier.
Well, you look at Bruce Smith now. He stands up right on Bruce Davis. He holds him up, locates the ball, and makes the play. It is a 3-yard gain, but here is a key matchup that we talked about at the beginning. Bruce Davis must contain Bruce Smith, but the problem is that Bruce Smith is moving all over. He's lined up on 3 different people so far.
2nd down, 7 from midfield. 85 Hill coming over to the right, and on the draw it is Highsmith breaking loose. Alonzo Highsmith. Kelso and Smith able to chase him down.
You could have called a better play. They had the Buffalo Bills with Bruce Smith coming upfield, Freddie Smirlis, number 76, taking it inside. And when this happens, here comes Bruce Smith. They just go, they take Smirlis and Art Still down the line. Bruce Smith is up the field. There are no linebackers there. Alonzo Highsmith is out in the middle of the field, all by himself. Now they're inside the 20.
A 31-yard run by Alonzo Highsmith in his 2nd season out of Miami, making it back strong from that shoulder injury and arthroscopic surgery. First out at the 18, and Moon on the option. Making his way inside the 15-yard line, the outside linebacker, Darryl Talley, on the stop.
You know, it's a pretty play to watch, Marv, the option, but only in college. You don't want to lose Warren Moon. I mean, this is the strength of your offense. Moon comes down, puts a little fake to the outside. That was Kirby Jackson, 47, whose job was to take the up back. But if they had the regular defense in there, they would have been a linebacker just to nail Warren Moon.
Well, now looking at a 2nd and 5 at the 13. Rozier is back, replacing Pinkett. Gibbons very frustrated. You can see him jumping up and down in anger, and Warren Moon unhappy. And his unhappiness directed at Cornelius Bennett.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Paul, is that a problem with the noise?
It really is, and you're down into that real close section down there, and they, as you talked about before, they do a lot of audibles. Now here comes Bennett down the line. Moon is just standing there, and Cornelius goes up. He really did not hit him that way. He just wrapped his arms around him. And Moon is a little frustrated because he couldn't get the call off, and now he's mad. But Bennett didn't do anything, you know, damaging. He just went up and kind of hugged him.
Yeah.
Danced a little bit.
Yeah, very affectionate, Paul.
It was. He just wrapped his arms around him.
2nd down, 10. At the 18, Buffalo 7, Houston nothing, 4:45 left, first half. And Moon goes the middle, incomplete. Intended for Gibbons.
You talk about a great block. Alonzo Highsmith just got a sensational block, and Drew Hill is down in the back of the end zone.
Shaken up, apparently all right.
Alonzo Highsmith, his job is to step up and keep Bennett, if he blitzes from the outside, to put him down. Here comes Bennett. Here comes Alonzo. Down goes Bennett. And Alonzo stays with him. He doesn't let him get back up and get to Moon. That's tremendous.
3rd down, 10 at the Buffalo 18. And Moon couldn't find anyone and just throws it high and far. Gibbons in the area, covered by Jackson. Looked like Bennett and Moon actually had some nice words for each other on the follow-through after that play. Tony Zendejas now coming on, and opposition field goal kickers have had all kinds of problems. Marv Levy trying to set things now as the Oilers line up for the field goal. They have enough men on the field, Paul?
They have 11 now. They have 11.
35-yard attempt. Zendejas, who has come on strong in recent weeks, able to put it right through. And the Oilers get on the board. They now trail by the score of 7-3.
See, there's a little love pat. I mean, he's talking to her now. Everything's all's well.
4.5 minutes remaining, first half. Off the 35-yard field goal by this man, Tony Zendejas. It is now Buffalo 7 and Houston 3 as Zendejas gets set to kick it off. Tucker, Riddick, and Harmon are back deep. And here is Errol Tucker finding the hole and reaching out across the 25-yard line. A 22-yard return.
You know, we talked to Glanville about this man, Alonzo Highsmith, and this is what he said. He's the best blocking back in football. And it's worth seeing again the block on Cornelius Bennett, who's one of the better linebackers. But Highsmith just stays with him. He sees Cornelius coming in. Now he gets down to his legs. But not only does he make the block here, but when Cornelius gets back up, here comes Highsmith back again. He doesn't quit on the block.
Alonzo Highsmith, who reeled off a nice run that led to the field goal by Zendejas. First down from the 28-yard line. And Kelly throwing on first down once again. Andre Reed for 12 yards. Steve Brown, the left corner, made the stop.
Andre Reed and Jerry Glanville even talked about him. He said he's one of the most dangerous receivers in the National Football League. And that ball is up in his shoulder to total concentration. Brown has excellent coverage, just can't stay with him.
First down at the 40. Just under 4 remaining first half. It's dropped by the tight end Metzelaars, covered by John Grimsley.
Buffalo Bills, I guess they're not going to sit on their lead, huh? they're just firing the ball all over the place. And now is in a situation now where I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a play, because they are running so well to their right side to where Joe Devlin is, and he happens to be blocking on Fuller, and also Childress is out there.
Kelly now 2nd and 10 at the 40. Oilers may think they're watching Jim Kelly from the Houston Gamblers of the USFL, although he's not looking for the deep patterns in the run and shoot the way he did in those days. Riddick not able to hang on. Robb Riddick, the man who criticized Jim Kelly about a week and a half ago for his passing philosophy. But that time it was Riddick who could not hold on to the ball.
After that one, he may not throw any more to him either. Ray Childress is going to the Pro Bowl, and when you're that good, Ken Hall is blocking on him to the outside. He just jams him back into the inside. And Childress was kind of lost on trying to find out, where am I supposed to go? Where is the ball? The Houston Oilers cannot win this football game until they get some heat on Kelly.
Third down and 10 from the 40. Now Kelly looking for that first down marker, but falls short. Hit down by Tracy Eaton, backup defensive back.
You ever see a guy take 5 steps and not go anywhere? Watch Kelly. You talk about not fleet of foot. Watch this when he comes up the middle. Kelly, no one to throw to. Excellent pass coverage. He sees the middle wide open. Now, it only has to go 10 yards. Watch these steps. There's 4 or 5 steps. He didn't move a yard. Still didn't pick up the first down.
John Kidd will punt for the first time this afternoon. Curtis Duncan, second-year man from Northwestern, back deep. That is Duncan. Kidd who's had an up and down season. And Duncan calling fair catch. 40-yard punt. And Houston will go back to the offense with 2:46 left, first half. Buffalo Bills 8-0 here at Rich Stadium. have had their difficulties recently. They've dropped 3 of the last 4. At one point, the Bills 11-1. Marv Levy, who is, in terms of personality, in direct contrast to the man on the sideline at the other side of the field, Jerry Glanville. In fact, Glanville was described by quarterback Patrick Allen as a rebel without a pause. Always going in high gear. Cleveland owner Art Modell said of Glanville, he ought to be in roller derby. And Jerry actually low-key this week. He coached 1 year here in Buffalo. Says he loves Buffalo. Did not say anything derogatory, which was not the case last week in Cleveland prior to the second matchup with the Browns.
Here comes Moon. He's got to bring his receivers and backs in. He can't hear a thing down there. Now they put Ernest Givens in motion and throwing snowballs at him.
First down at the 13. A flag has been thrown as Hill made the catch, stopped by Talley. Now, what can he do to adjust to be able to hear over the crowd?
He really has to. You start in this situation and go on what they call that silent count, and when you do that, you're at the mercy of the defense, because only you in the center basically know when that ball is going to be snapped, and then everybody else on the offense has to go on movement by the center and the quarterback.
Number 78 defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Bruce Smith called on the penalty.
And when that happens, Marv, now the defense has the advantage. They don't have offense. You don't have that quick step. Here's Moon. He's trying to use his hands. Read my lips. You know, he's telling Drew Hill, get away from me. Will you just get over there for a second? I'm going to throw to you anyway.
And there's a 1st and 5 at the 18. Nate Odoms, who hobbled off earlier, is back in there at the right corner. Rozier for a couple. Stopped by Art Still. Art Still making it back from the knee problem in his 11th year out of the University of Kentucky. We're coming up on the 2-minute mark here in the first half. And when we resume, for Houston, it will be a 2nd and 3 at the 20. Buffalo Bills 7, Houston Oilers 3 will be. With 2 minutes remaining in the first half, the Bills leading the Oilers by the count of 7-3. Coming up at halftime, Bob, Ahmad, Gale with a look back at what has taken place here in this first half.
Paul.
Oh, Paul be on hand too.
Yeah, don't forget Paul.
My apologies.
That's all right. I'm only here with you 3.5 hours through this ball game.
You mean you get extra airtime at halftime?
And I also get extra pay.
Muscling your way in. 2nd down, 3 from the 20. And the house of noise erupts. Alonzo Highsmith tried to pick his way and did pick up the first down. Darryl Talley making the stop. Buffalo Bills perfect at home, but over the last 4 weeks where they have had difficulties, the only victory coming over the Raiders by that 37-21 score.
Well, let's give the Bills 4-0 and the fans 4-0. They won 4.
First down at the 25, minute and a half left. First half, Moon airs it out. Jeffries for the first down at midfield, 27 yards on the play. Mark Kelso, the free safety on the stop, and the Oilers go to the hurry-up now.
They should take a timeout. They have 3 timeouts. Why let the clock run down when everybody has to get to the ball? Now they did. But they wasted about 9 seconds on the clock.
So the timeout is called. Jerry Glanville.
Black Bart. Look at him.
He even wore black when we had our discussion at the hotel last night.
He's got a knee problem. They're going to probably have to operate after the season's over, but he's got the only black brace ever made.
Here with Jeffries with that long gainer a moment ago for his 4th catch of the day.
You see, the Buffalo Bills are in zone, and they're playing 6 defensive backs. But again, you go back. The key is the offensive line blocking. Moon has enough time to look at 4 different players. Now here's Smith on Davis. Bruce on Bruce. Bruce missed him with a right hook. And Bruce Smith almost got to Moon.
Back to the subject of Jerry Glanville. I mentioned that he did not have any unfavorable comments to make about Buffalo. He did coach here. He said when he first told his wife, Brenda, he was headed to Buffalo, she cried when we moved there. But Jerry says he also cried when we left.
She was happy both times.
And Gibbons caught it on a deflection. Then let's see what they call it. Did he have possession? If he did, it's a fumble, and Buffalo recovered. If not, it will be ruled incomplete. The recovery made by Kirby Jackson.
They said he was down. It's replay time. Let's go, replay. Gibbons is on the inside. Here he comes. He slips. He's hurt. He's slipping off the field. Now, Gibbons is there. Now, think about it. His leg is down, and then the ball comes out. Now, the question is, was his knee down when he gets hit?
Down by contact.
Down by contact. Hello. Wait till I see this guy. Here's the reverse angle. Is his knee down? Here. Then the ball is punched out. Now you can't see because Leonard Smith is in the way. So now if they're looking at that angle, here we go again.
It's also tough depth perception.
Depth perception.
Always difficult.
Not for me. He is, I mean, that is as close as you're going to get. That play's got to stand.
So a first down at the 25-yard line. And here's Boone with the time going end zone. Touchdown. No, he's out of the end zone. He caught it out of the end zone. Drew Hill did not have the 2 feet in.
Did not have control of the ball. The ball was there. He hit the goalpost at the end of it. Drew Hill is still down. He was down a little while ago in that same position. But he did not have control of the ball. It would have been touchdown. Moon put it right where he had to put it. No one had a chance.
Must have the 2 feet in and control.
Yeah, you see he's bobbling the ball here. I'm going to tell you what. They better take another look at it, because if the only one the foot that's going to be in jeopardy here is going to be his left foot, because Drew Hill, when he catches here, watch here, now he bobbles it, pulls it into his arms, and both feet down. Now, are you going to give it to him if he has it with one arm or 2 arms?
And Hill is obviously shaken up. It had been a very quiet day to this point in terms of replays. The replay official is Mark Burns. He is the only replay official who is not a former game official out of the league office. Works in the officiating department with Art McNally. And right now the concern is for Drew Hill.
They just lost Ernest Gibbons. He walked off the field limping. Drew Hill is up, shaken up. The question is, and I think that he really didn't have control because he brings it to his shoulder pad, but he is bobbling the ball as he's going to the end zone. That pass is absolutely perfect. You know, bring it up to his right shoulder with one hand. Here, is that control? Now his right foot touches, his left foot is dragging. If they call that control, then he hits the goalpost with his head.
The word from the replay booth is the left foot was down, but his knee hit out of bounds. So it was not possession. He did not have control with the 2 feet in within the end zone. And now the official word from Gordon McCarter. And Hill looks to be all right. And
more good news for Houston. Gibbons coming back on the field, so they've got him back in the game.
40 seconds remaining first half. And when we pick it up, Houston will have a 2nd and 10 at the 25.
And Bruce Davis has done a pretty good job on Bruce Smith. You remember the only sack came when Bruce Smith came up the middle. He did not come up over Bruce Davis.
And the Houston Oilers have allowed only 24 sacks for the season, among the fewest in the NFL. The 1 sack recorded by Smith. Bruce Smith.
Bruce Davis, 6'6", 330 pounds, like running around a building.
2nd down and 10. And the crowd back to it. Moon in trouble. And able to complete right at the first down marker. Burrows on the coverage of Duncan.
Now the Bills want him to say he's out of bounds. Everybody's an official today. You know that? Players don't only play. They're also officials. Here we go now. Duncan goes out. Moon scampers and he sees him coming back. Duncan does a smart thing. He comes back. Now what they're saying is here he catches the ball, but he stopped his progress so he couldn't go out of bounds. And he said he didn't get out of bounds, but he does. But Moon does a great job rolling out to the outside. And then again, we get officiating by all of the players. Everybody likes to officiate.
And by getting out of bounds, he did stop the clock. 31 seconds remaining. It's a third down and 1. 31 seconds left in the half. A lot of movement. Fumble on the snap. And the penalty marker is down.
It's delay of game, so that'll make a 3rd and 6.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
I just couldn't believe that Moon just walked away. The whistle to blow, and he had to know it was delay of game because the ball was snapped and everybody else went for the ball except Moon. Warren Moon sitting up under center. Now watch what happens. He knows it's delay of game because when this ball is snapped, he just turns around and puts his hand down. I don't want any part of that. I'm not going in there and get killed.
Third down, 6 at the 21. Jeffries to the left, Duncan right. Highsmith, the lone deep back. And Moon with time. Incomplete. Leonard Harris covered by Wayne Davis. Harris, the 3-year man out of Texas Tech, who has come up with only 10 receptions this season. And now Zendejas will check in.
One thing, look where this ball is thrown. That ball should have been caught, even though Davis made an excellent play on the ball. But Warren Moon is sharp. He's getting the ball where it has to be caught, and they're not catching it.
Zendejas connected from 35 yards away earlier the second quarter. This, a 39-yard attempt that is blocked. Cornelius Bennett on the recovery. And let's see who blocked it. Earlier, a punt was blocked by Leonard Smith.
That man has fun playing this game. He's the same way in practice. Is this Leonard Smith again? The ball comes up the middle. I don't know. That's not Leonard Smith, I can tell you that. That was Cornelius Bennett that blocked it and recovered it.
Now the crowd reacts to the announcement on the public address. Pro Bowler Cornelius Bennett with the block and the recovery. Buffalo takes over. 19 seconds remaining in the first half from their 37. Kelly with a screen. And here's Ronnie Harmon. 10 seconds remaining in the half.
Kelly's pass complete to Ronnie Harmon.
Will Wolford, number 73. He'll be all right. They're not going to go out of the game. Kelly stayed in there and stayed in there. And then finally, this was a screen pass, and then finally hit Harmon with the ball. Kelly has an awful lot of confidence in his offensive line, and that's good.
I mentioned earlier that Bills' opponents have had all kinds of difficulty kicking field goals here at Rich Stadium in the past. The weather has certainly had something to do with that, but coming into today, they had succeeded on only 8 of 17 at Rich Stadium. Second down 2 with time running out. And Kelly heaving one. It's a Hail Mary, and it's broken up. So Jim Kelly airing it out with 1 second remaining in the half.
And that ball was almost caught. Donaldson is sitting down there waiting on him. He's trying to time it. I don't know if it's Trumaine Johnson, 86 or not. Yeah, it is going to be him. Watch Donaldson here. He's waiting, and he knocks the ball down, and it just gets caught in his leg. That is dangerous.
Combination of Trumaine Johnson, Chris Burkett, Andre Reed in in the area. Marv Levy and his Buffalo Bills leading the Houston Oilers by the score of 7-3. Let's see if Kelly will give it another shot. Play is blown dead.
Well, we know one thing. You can't end on a defensive penalty.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard
on this
penalty,
one because
still
they'll put 1
third down.
second back on the clock, so they still have a play. It's a great football game. Great defensive football game.
Buffalo Bills come in as number 1 in total defense. Houston Oilers, the only team in the NFL to score more points, the Cincinnati Bengals. Houston with 424 points for the season. But thus far, Warren Moon and his Oilers held to the field goal. Although Moon, as you say, has been throwing the ball well.
He has been throwing the ball well. He didn't look too excited right there.
Off the draw, Jamie Mueller. He will not go down.
Here comes a headache for somebody.
Jamie Mueller goes 6'1", 225 pounds, refusing to hit the field. And that is the end of the first half. Buffalo 7, Houston 3. Bob Costas hosting NFL Live back at our New York studios. So stay with us. We'll return after these messages from your local station.